Alright, so now that I've caught up on a lot of things that are breaking down around here left and right, thought I'd do a quick tutorial video for the gearheads out there. I replaced the compressor in my 1990 Ford Ranger, and this has a Sandon or Sankyo. I think they changed the name to Sandon later on, but compressor in it, and it's an FS10. Now this was used in many different applications on Fords, due to just the application being different because of the AC manifold hookup. In other words, the lines that go to the back of the compressor. So thought I'd go over it real quick if anybody wants to rebuild their own. They're not really hard to rebuild, but I just didn't have the time to do it, and because I had water pump problems, I had a multitude of other things to do, doctors and all kinds of crap. So I just ordered a new one, a brand new one. Of course, the first one I got had a bent shaft on it, which I know now is, well, I haven't taken it apart. I'm trying to get a refund. They don't want the compressor back. So I thought, well, okay, let me see what could possibly be the problem with the clutch on that. I won't get into that in this video, but I just wanted to take this one apart. Now, mind you, this is a 32-year-old compressor. Well, 33 years old. Okay, so these things, they do last quite a long time. And what does go bad in them most of the time is the piston ring, or a sealing ring if you want to call it that. They just wear out. They get, as you can see here with this one, where's my little pointer thing, this one here is also broken, you know, right there, and that one's broken right there, obviously. Some of them are in pretty good shape, other ones are broken off. Now this is still pumping Freon and cooling a little bit, cooling okay, but not for Florida. So basically, to do this job, you want to take the clutch off, and to take the clutch off, basically you'll have to take the pressure plate off. Now mind you, this is going to have a, hang on here, a bolt in it. This is an 8mm bolt. It's going to have a spacer up inside there, so be aware of that you don't lose that, because that'll give you your air gap. And you just pull that off by hand. It should not be stuck on, because it's just a ribbed straight shaft. Then this piece here, you might have to tap on it a little bit, check if your bearing's good, and usually they are. That, you know, just kind of goes onto that nose. Where are we at? In the front of the compressor here. It goes onto that nose. Okay, so you tap that off, and then you have your, well, actually you got to take this snap ring off, and you'll need a pair of snap ring pliers. I have a whole set of convertible snap ring pliers to do that type of thing, but you know, you'll need one of them. You can probably get it off with some modified needle nose, maybe, I don't know. So this will come off fairly easy. Now the magnet is definitely pressed on, and that you can use a puller, but I really wouldn't recommend using a puller. Now the way I do it is I take a brass drift and a hammer, and I tap on both sides until it, you know, comes off of this housing right here. This is just pressed on. Alright, so we go into it, and then after you've got that off, you've got 4 bolts holding the housing together. You'll have to tap it with a hammer. not hard, just give it a couple taps, and you will see the cylinders in there. Now you can take these out on the front, the back, and they are aligned with the two holes there that you see at the top, now at the top. And then you have your valve plate in there, which you want to make sure that all the valves are in good shape, that nothing's broken there, and same in the back, that gasket and everything is not broken. And this part here, there's nothing really that goes wrong in there, so just clean that out real good. Mineral spirits will do. You can clean it out with carb cleaner later, and when you put everything together, it all lines back up with those pins. Now you can put these on the pistons as you're putting it together, and then put them into the housing. Same thing with this one. You've got the same thing, you know, with alignment and the valve plate and so forth. And like I said, the SD10s, the only difference is where the hookup is for the lines. You know, some of them have it here, some of it have it in the middle, some of it, you know, different angles. So it has to be the application. There's an O-ring here in between the two halves. That'll need to be replaced. And also on this front piece, there is a seal in there for the shaft. That'll need to be replaced. And then of course all the rings, seal rings, will need to be replaced. Now these pieces just go in there and float. You can hold them in with whatever you like. You know, you can do them one at a time, putting them in. You can put a little bit of grease on there. I would suggest something that's oh, I don't know, yeah, grease with a AC system, I don't know. If you're real sparing, I don't think it's going to matter much. Now this is the main shaft, and this is the eccentric plate, which is what, as it spins around, moves the pistons up and down. So you've got 10 pistons moving, which is fantastic. I've used these compressors on my antique cars and everything, you know, when they didn't have air, and I included air. Now be aware that there are thrust washers on both sides of this, and to put the thrust plate back on, if it falls off, where the wear is on that. So you want to make sure that, and you got it on this side as well. You've got another thrust bearing and washer, and that will keep your center, and that's about it. So if you get a rebuild kit, it should come with the O-ring, the new piston seals or piston rings, whatever you like to call them, and it'll come with a seal for the main shaft. So if you have other problems, I would take it apart first before ordering the rebuild kit, and make sure that you don't have any mechanical damage, you know, physical hard parts damage, which, like I said, these things are pretty bulletproof. And also, you know, that nothing's been bent, the magnet's in good shape, you know, everything else, because right now the price of a new one isn't really that crazy bad, and you know, it may not be worth it to you to rebuild it, to save, you know, well, you might save $100. A rebuild kit is probably going to be about $50, I imagine, but I haven't looked into it yet. What I'm going to do here is, since that seller doesn't want the other compressor back that had a bent shaft, and they had to have put it together like that, because that can't happen in shipping. I mean, there's just not enough shaft to stick out to bend this thick thing. They put that together wrong, and not only that, but the clutch was rubbing every turn. You know, it would grind to a halt almost, and it blew the seal out after engaging and running the compressor. It blew the seal out on the new one. So what I might do is I might take that new one apart, if they don't want it back, you know, which they said they don't. and I get my money back, or partial refund. I agreed to that because of shipping, you know, whatever. And so I can replace what's in there with just this, a new seal, front seal, and go to town with it. The clutch on that new one seems to be okay, but I don't know because I haven't taken that apart. So anyway, okay, that is the quickie on the, let's get some light on there. That's the quickie on the SD10, and like I said, this compressor was used on a lot of vehicles and a lot of Fords. It's a really great compressor. This one being 32 years old, hey, you can't complain, right? So anyway, if you're into doing this type of thing, there you go. There's a little inside info of what you're looking at and what you'll need to do it. And that'll be it for today. So there's my rambly long video again. Take care, people. Bye.